Is it working? Hello, Mr. Peterson. It's me, Anna. How are you? How was your holiday? You may be wondering why I'm not there looking after Mr. Wigglemunch. Well, a bit of bad news on that front. Mr. Wigglemunch is dead. And I just couldn't bring myself to tell you, so I decided to make this video message instead. It all began last Thursday when you came to my house and asked me to look after Mr. Wigglemunch. You said, "Oh, hi, Anna." And I said, "Oh, hi, Mr. Peterson." Then you said, "I'm going on holiday. If I pay you £10, will you pop in every day to feed Mr. Wigglemunch?" To be honest with you, Mr. Peterson, that was your first big mistake. Knowing what it is that we know now, I would never have let me look after Mr. Wigglemunch. But being the good neighbour that I am, I said yes. Okay, Mr. Peterson, I'll look after Mr. Wigglemunch. Don't you worry. Thank you, Anna. Bye, Mr. Peterson. So the next day, I go to your house and I think, this is a nice house. This is a nice house. I was excited to see Mr. Wigglemunch. We played fetch, we cuddled, and Mr. Wigglemunch even did a massive
dinner's ready.
I'm busy! Oh. Anyway. But basically, I forgot to feed him. Sorry. But it's okay because I went back the next day and we had a lovely time. But I forgot to feed him again. Sorry. And then it's really weird because I went back the next day and Mr. Wigglemunch seemed a little bit down. So I said, "What's wrong, Mr. Wigglemunch?" And Mr. Wigglemunch went, "Woof, woof." The next day, Mr. Wigglemunch was really quiet. And the day after that, Wigglemunch was having a really long nap. So this is when I decided to call my friend in to have a look at him. And this is when my friend said, "Dude, I think this dog is dead." "Oh no, what should we do with him?" "Well, you could bury him." So I decided to bury Mr. Wigglemunch in the park for you. So I put Mr. Wigglemunch into my suitcase and wheeled him to the park. As I was wheeling the suitcase in the park, this kindly gentleman could see that I was struggling with how heavy the suitcase is. The kindly gentleman said, "Wow, that looks like a heavy suitcase." I said, "Yes, it is." He said, "Would you like some help?" I said, "Yes, please." The kindly gentleman then asked me what was inside the suitcase. And this is where I did a bad thing. I told a lie. I couldn't tell him it was Mr. Wigglemunch inside the suitcase. So I said, £1,000. Then the kindly gentleman said, "Look over there." So I looked over there. And when I turned around, the kindly gentleman had run off with the suitcase with Mr. Wigglemunch inside. It turns out he wasn't such a kindly gentleman after all. Well, anyway, sorry about Mr. Wigglemunch. Oh, and also, I hope you didn't mind, we ran out of cheese. So, we borrowed some of yours. Anyway, I hope you had a lovely time in Southend, and I'll see you around. Bye, Mr. Peterson. I'm going to turn this off.